It's time to let you in on a little something. I'm moving again. It's a big move, and I'm gonna tell you all about it soon. For now though, I gotta clean out the kitchen. We gotta start with using up ingredients. We got the pantry, fridge, and then we got the freezer stacked to the brim. Yeah, my goal is to cook up whatever I got in here before I leave. It's all kind of random. Like this is a pork belly. This is beef sirloin tips. That is a whole squab. Truffles. My focus today is this, which is 3.5 pounds of ground beef. I collect it. It's just accumulated really. And yeah, I want to use it all up, and I could make the obvious things with it, but I don't want to go obvious. So if we come over here, 365 ways to cook hamburger. If you saw this at a thrift shop, when you pick it up, I mean, I had no other choice. Easy, economical, and excitingly different recipes for 1 to 100 people by Doyne Nickerson. Hi, I'm just gonna pause the video really quickly. It's me from a couple days in the future. I gotta warn you that for the duration of this video, that's how I pronounce this guy's name, Doyne. I'm not familiar with the name. I had full confidence that's how it was said. So I'm editing this video and I'm just like, I keep hearing myself say this, Doyne, Doyne, Doyne. So I looked it up because I was like, there's no way that's right. It's pronounced Doyne, Doyne, Doyne Nickerson. It's a beautiful name. I just wanted to warn you, you're gonna sit through this whole video hearing me say Doyne, Doyne, Doyne. I'm the Doyne. Okay, let's get back to the video. Yeah, Doyne Nickerson, and there he is at the back of this book here, looking like, kind of like JFK, making meatballs. An actor, hydroponic gardener, an advertising writer, printer, and during the Depression, a young man who ate hamburgers 3 times a day and learned to prepare it in dozens of different ways. That is Doyne Nickerson. Probably just the greatest guy. 1958, it was originally published. So I went through this book knowing I had 3.5 pounds of ground beef, and I picked some super interesting sounding recipes, and I'm not gonna make them all in the same day. It's gonna be over the course of many, and it's just gonna be like, you know, whenever I'm cooking for myself, I'm just gonna, you know, recipe out of this book. So here are 4 of the 365 ways to cook hamburger. Coming at you. First up is burger dogs. I think it's gonna be exactly what it sounds like. Bologna, thank you. But I've never seen a burger dog before, so it's got my attention. This is 1/2 pound of ground beef. So this recipe was for 10 to 12 people, so this is just 1/3 of that. 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of finely chopped onion. And we got 1/2 teaspoon of mustard, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, pinch of black pepper. Roll the patties into the shape of hot dogs, but first what I'm gonna do is just get my hands dirty. And now this is when things get interesting. Okay, so this is what you paid for, right? Roll the patty into a hot dog shape. That looks, I'm not gonna stand like that. NSFW. In the freezer, I also had bacon. Take a slice of bacon and wrap around each patty in a spiral fashion. I'm gonna broil this 3 inches from the heat source. If you live in England, it's the grill. My broiler's in a weird spot, so I'll just be right down here. Ooh. Come on, some hot dog buns here, and I like them toasted. Yeah, so very excited about my burger dogs. I just like saying the word burger dogs. It's fun. So it doesn't say ketchup, but I'm a ketchup on hot dog kind of person. So I think that's fine. It's served with your favorite relish, but it's not my favorite. It's just what was there. Let's get a burger dog on one, burger dog on another bun, and of course, a little chopped parsley. That's a joke. Order up! Burger dogs. It's the wave of the future. Fantastic burger dog that makes you really stop and think about heavy questions too, like life. Like, why did we choose the shape that we did for a hamburger when the hot dog wiener shape was in front of us the whole time? And it took someone like Doyne here to reveal it to us. I don't know if he came up with the burger dog, but he sure as hell put his mark on it. Okay, so actually, in all honesty, I really enjoyed the burger dog. I think that was a fun little thing that took no time. Enjoyed it just as much as I would if I had just made a hamburger in that amount of time. So I don't know, the bacon trick was cool. Just wrapped around there, stuck on there, and burger was flavorful. You know, it was a fun little thing. Perfect for the summer, perfect for the kids. The burger dog. Maybe the burger dog is exactly what the world needs right now. What the hell is going on out there? This episode is sponsored by Wild Grain. You ever get halfway through cooking something, like a stew or a pasta or just eggs, and you suddenly think, this would be so much better with some bread. Look out. So you check your freezer and all you got, and I mean, we've already kind of covered this today. I mean, this is a big bag of about half a dozen fish heads, but it doesn't really solve our problem. There's no bread. See, that's why I keep Wild Grain in the freezer now. It has solved all my tragic breadless moments. Wild Grain is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box for all the good stuff. Here, check out my haul. Sourdough bread, ciabatta, rigatoni, croissant, cookies, biscuits, and some butter. So everything is made by small bakeries and pasta makers across the US, and it all goes from frozen to baked in 25 minutes, no thawing required. Suddenly I have a fresh sourdough next to my meal. Then there's this. Sometimes you just want a damn cookie. Click the link in the description, use my code ANTICHEF, get $30 off your first box, plus free croissants for life. Thank you, Wild Grain. No fish heads today. Let's get back to work. Hello. It is another day, and it is around dinner time, so I was thinking, working late, make up another recipe using some of that ground beef. Working late, as in this is work. You're watching me work. Actually, most of the ingredients here were already in the kitchen, so it's kind of just like a bonus. Use all of this stuff. I'm gonna make tamale pie, which I'm not totally familiar with. I know it's in the casserole chapter of this book. So casserole era of life, which was like mid 20th century, 1950s, everyone was making up casseroles. So I'm thinking it's got some tamale vibes. Considered a shortcut dish. It's just like a quicker version of something that already exists. And I even picked up some cerveza for my Mexican dish. And then I discovered that it's not Mexican. It is in fact Tex-Mex. So it's a Tex-Mex baked casserole. Anyway, I got the beer, I'm still gonna drink it, and let's get cooking. Let's go over here. This recipe is supposed to serve 12 people, so I'm halving it. And it just says you need a cooking fat, 2 tablespoons of it, so I'm using lard because I feel like that would be kind of like an accurate representation of the times, right? I don't know. It seems like it would fit. So first things first is chopped onion. This was hanging around from the burger dogs. Love those burger dogs. That's 1 cup worth. And then a smaller clove of minced garlic. Next up is the ground beef. This is 1 pound worth. Add the block, but I do have to break it up big timer. Medium high, yeah. So I gotta cook that until it's browned. Just under a teaspoon of salt and just a hoot of black peppers, a couple cracks worth. Now that that's browned, I'm just gonna, I was almost thinking this could be a 1 pot kind of thing, but nope, Doyne wants us to use 2. So this is he calls for a kettle. This is a saucier. It will work. So I'm not gonna turn the heat on just yet. I need to add a bunch of things in here first. So Doyne is asking for cornmeal, yellow cornmeal more specifically. In my pantry, I've had this white cornmeal and I'm like, okay, I really just don't want to buy more cornmeal right now. Just use this. So that's the end of that story. It's gonna be around 3/4 cup worth. Okay, and then here's around 3/4 cup worth of whole milk. And then there's some older terminology in the book. It says a number 2.5 can of tomatoes. In this kitchen, I already had this can, which is just a regular can, considered a number 1 of diced tomatoes. I'm just gonna use this, but I'm halving the recipe, so that's just perfect. And then around a 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And look at that, the milk is just completely thickened up instantly. Now I gotta stir this often, low heat for half an hour. This is all very interesting. I'm incredibly intrigued right now. So after half an hour cooking that, which honestly seemed a bit like overkill because it hasn't really changed in appearance or flavor or texture or anything like that since maybe like 20 minutes ago. So what I need next is a number 1 can, which I think this is just considered like the normal can size. And this is cream styled corn. Now keeping in mind that I am having the recipe, so that is only half of this can worth. Yay! This is a smaller can of sliced ripe olives. And I'm not gonna use up all of the liquid that's in this can, but I might want to keep a little because it looks a little dry in there. But I'm gonna just drop this whole can in. Hopefully that's around half a cup worth. Hot tamale, 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Give this a good mix. And now I add the beef mixture in with the whatchamacallit mixture. I'm gonna mix that well together, and that looks like a casserole. A little cheese on top would have been interesting, but do tamales have cheese? I'm not so sure. Typically they do not for the standard fillings, so that's why there's no cheese. Such a bad habit of mine not to grease up a dish prior to. So everything goes back in and let's just pretend like everything is cool. Your brain works fine. I gotta bake this for an hour and a half at a 300 Fahrenheit oven. Honestly, because I am halving the recipe, I may shorten that bake time, but I'm just gonna really eyeball it when it looks ready. I think that's good, because everything is like, you know. Okay, as I look at this thing, I'm still thinking like, okay, maybe a little cheese melted on top would have gone a long way, but at the same time, it's just like, in this internet era, does everything need to have cheese? A little parsley on top. Order up! My idea. I feel like if you just have some chips to go along. It's like a casserole, but it's almost dip worthy as well. See, the thing about this tamale pie is, nowadays, you look at this and you kind of equate it to a incredibly hot, but I wanted to prove a point. You equate it to more of a dip than a casserole, because I mean, just casseroles, something that looks like that, it's just, you don't see it too often anymore. So it's got dip quality to it, but it's like the most perfect dip I've ever dipped. Very savory and comforting. The spice level is just in the sweet spot there. Not too mild, not too spicy. I mean, a dish like this, I would think, hey, if I didn't know what this was, those are black beans, but it's not, it's olives. So they're salty, they got a little bit of a brininess to them, and it's just like providing that little bit of a Mediterranean twist to a Tex-Mex classic. That's what I'm calling it, a classic. What's for dinner tonight? I'm going with a banana meatloaf. the second of 2 recipes in this book. The second one's a little more intense than the first one, so I thought, yeah, let's turn it up to 11. Bananas and meatloaf. I don't know how that really works together, so I'm more curious than anything else, but this is what I'm gonna have for dinner, so I'm committing myself. All right, can I beam in the Whiz Kid? Thank you. So what I gotta do first is make up some soft breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna take the hot dog buns from the burger dogs, and yeah, I don't have any more burger dog plans for the future, so I'm just gonna make these into breadcrumbs. How about that? That works. What a good idea. Bowl me. Thank you. 1 1/4 pounds of ground beef, cup worth of the soft breadcrumbs. So, can I have another bowl? Me, please? Merci. So, we got 2 bananas that are ready for their big moment here. Do I care that there's some brown spots on there? Not really. Okay, these are good mashing bananas. All right, add the 2 mashed bananas. Yeah, buddy. 2 tablespoons of finely chopped onion, a teaspoon of mustard, teaspoon of salt, hoot of black pepper, AKA 1/4 teaspoon worth. Heyo, MSG, monosodium glutamate. I need a 1/4 teaspoon. Is that a sign of the times with this recipe? I've actually never made a meatloaf before, so I'm already in uncharted territory, and then now we got bananas in there, and buckle up, buckaroo. So I gotta shape that into a loaf. I feel like a common ingredient in meatloaf would have to be at least an egg, right? To bind it all together. So my question is the banana doing that job? That's my question. Strips of bacon. I mean, it's up to you, I guess. I think 2 should do it for me. Well, seeing is believing. I got the oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I gotta bake this for an hour. Stay tuned. Good luck to you. All right, so 10 minutes to go. I gotta place thick slices of banana on top. I'm gonna go the opposite direction of the bacon. Smells like banana. To the serving platter, let's go. So I was looking up like, what's the deal with this dish? Is it like a Depression era kind of thing? And it's not. It's in fact more of a gimmicky thing from like the 50s. Bananas were plentiful and cheap after the war, and I guess they inspired a little experimentation when it came to like pushing your meat as far as it can go, and I guess people thought it was gonna take off. It still has a chance. Order up. So banana meatloaf, excited to give this a try, right? It doesn't look great. You know what it might need? So I have this right here. It's mushroom ketchup, leftover from the British video I did a few months back, and I thought, what if I just give this a little hoot of that? Like, what's gonna happen, right? Yeah, it's brought back to life. It's just meatloaf with banana in it, really. It doesn't really bring that much to it. I thought it would, I don't know, amplify it in some special way, but it's still kind of just meatloaf. Slightly creamy when you find pieces of banana in there. But overall, like, it's still kind of dry in parts too. Maybe parts that don't have the banana in it. And then there's like a caramelized banana on top, which is fine. It's not bad. It's not, I didn't have to make a video about it. Adds a little something to that bacon, because now the bacon's got like a nice sweetness to it. So maybe I'm not, like, maybe I'm being too hard on this. Here's the thing. I do have a bit of a conspiracy theory regarding this dish. You know how it's popular to have ham and pineapple together? What if whoever created up the concept of banana meatloaf, which I cannot find the origin of it. So let's just assume, for all intents and purposes, that it is in fact Doyne. Doyne, he has 2 recipes of banana meatloaf in his cookbook he really wanted to take off, okay? What if he saw pineapple and ham and he thought, let me try this with banana and beef? And then it just never happened for him. What do you think? This is the 4th and final day of this experiment here of emptying out the freezer with the ground beef that was 3.5 pounds. What remains, you ask? 3/4 pound left. We did it. I've just been kind of like squeezing these cooks in whenever I have time, and well, got a little time. Lemon meatballs in cream sauce. That's the final recipe. And you know what? I thought that sounded like a good one. So yeah, bowl me. Thank you. Okay, so there it goes. So remember those hot dog buns? Here's some more of it. 1/2 cup of the breadcrumbs. That's 1 egg. Trying to go the full week without cutting my finger. That's 1 teaspoon of lemon rind. 1/2 of 3/4 cup. So 6 tablespoons of milk. All right, that's some crushed garlic. Much of these ingredients have been used throughout all of these recipes. Here's a tablespoon of chopped onion. It's 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Worcester sauce. Around 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Black pepper. All right, how about a little more MSG, 1/8 teaspoon worth. I'd say that's... So I have some celery seed in this kitchen. Recipe needs some celery salt. I'm not gonna go pick that up just for the lemon meatballs, as tempting as it is. So I'm gonna be creative here. Teaspoon of celery seed into Morty here. Apparently adding in around the same ratio of salt. Grinding that together. That should be celery salt. So let's get in 1/2 teaspoon of that. So give it a mix, get my hands dirty, mix it up, form into my meatballs. Milk to meat ratio must have been fairly high because these are well hydrated. Use a non-stick. So I have this melted butter that's been in the fridge. I shall use that. I remelted it so I could get it out of this. Okay, into the butter on like a moderately high heat. And if they lose their shape, just give it a re-roll back into the classic ball shape. Yeah, I gotta brown these on all sides. All right, so I have removed the meatballs, which are no longer balls. I make meatballs in my real life without filming and they turn out fine, but screwing the pooch right now is kind of an embarrassing act. Super good flavor though. 1/2 cup of chopped green pepper. After 10 minutes of that, I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of flour. Okay, so whatever's left of the butter there, the flour's gotta brown 2 minutes. I gotta stick to the trend of using things I have in the kitchen. This is a jar of tomato sauce that I just, and I gotta use around 1/2 cup worth, but whatever that is. So it says I need to use 1/2 can of water. So I was like, huh? And then I had to think about it. I was like, oh, you mean like the can of tomato sauce that I was just using, fill it halfway up with water and add that. But I'm not using a can, I was using this random jar. So I just filled the water up around 1/2 of what I used with the tomato sauce with water and season her up. A couple cracks of pepper ought to do it too. Stirring constantly so until it thickens up, how about that? Finally, it says sour cream. Very interesting. Add the sour cream a little more gracefully than I did, but I'm using 1/2 cup worth. Now it says to pour the sauce over the meatballs, but I'm gonna flip it and reverse it. I'm gonna add the meatballs into the sauce. Oh yeah. And this is what we gotta do. Bake this 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 1/2 an hour. Done. Yeah. Okay, that looks ridiculous. Switch it to a different, okay, how about that? After like shuffling this around from plate to plate, I realized I have no idea how to make that look sexy. This is my Hail Mary move here, some lemon zest on top. Also maybe just a little parsley, right? Order up! meatballs looking rather moist. It's not really keeping its shape, but it's moist. These meatballs are very, very, very good. They just fall apart. Stop it, Doyne. Stop it. Those might be the best meatballs I've ever had, and I'm not kidding around. So much greatness. The flavor is incredible. It's so savory, but then there's like a big pop of lemon in there too, which is, I was digging it. I was really, was. The only thing about them is they did not maintain their meatball shape, not all of them at least. And the transfer from the pan to the plate, there was a couple casualties like this one right here. You just put your fork through it, you see how tender it is, but it's so freaking moist. I really hope that moist is the correct word to be describing these because I'm running with it, but that's what they are. Did I talk about how great the sauce was? No, I did not. First, the sauce, tomato sauce with sour cream. That was very nice. It went well with the meatballs. I gotta say, that whole thing that I just ate there, I scarfed it down right at the top. Highlight of the 4 things that I made. Lemon meatballs with the cream sauce at the top. Second place, burger dogs. I was starving. It hit the spot. They could take a page out of the book of the meatballs and be a little more moister maybe. Third place, we'll go to the tamale pie. I really liked it. I liked it more as a dip than a casserole, for sure. Last place goes the banana meat loaf, which that can stay in the past. Anyway, this was Jamie and Doyne. I hope this whole video I said his name right. Doyne, right? Spine and dine. Bon appetit. Au revoir.